Now, 3 school students in Sydney have tested positive to coronavirus. Health and education authorities warn that school closures could be the new normal. I spoke with New South Wales Education Minister Sarah Mitchell earlier today. Joining us, Education Minister Sarah Mitchell. Sarah, take us through this new app and what it will enable people to do to try and sort of tap into exactly the latest with the coronavirus.
Yeah, so we've recently launched a new app. It's called the Schools Updates app, and it actually came out of what we found during particularly the bushfire season, that you can really never over-communicate in a crisis to parents and families if schools need to be closed for any particular reason. So it launched a few weeks ago. We've had good take-up so far, and it's actually come in really handy with the coronavirus as well to be able to let people know just another source of truth for when a school might be shut the next day.
All right, and we'll flash it up on the screen now as to how viewers can download that particular app. But as you said, it was vital during the bushfire crisis, and now obviously it will be vital as we sort of continue to try and keep up to date with what's going on with the coronavirus. What is going on in New South Wales schools with the coronavirus?
Yeah, so unfortunately over the last few days we have had 2 students at public high schools in Sydney test positive for coronavirus, one from Epping Boys High School on Friday and another student at Willoughby Girls High School today. That comes on the back of 2 students in the Catholic system also testing positive. So what we've had to do is work really closely with health, put plans into place in terms of the closure of those schools. So each of those schools have been shut for at least a day while we work through who are the close contacts of the students affected, what kind of isolation measures we need to put into place on the advice of health. And we're doing that as a precaution. We need to make sure that the students and staff and their health and wellbeing is, of course, number one. But look, as the coronavirus issue starts to escalate, we may see more school closures, particularly in metro parts of Sydney, but also potentially in the regions as well. We just don't know yet until we know what cases we're dealing with.
Well, I would imagine, Minister, that you're meeting sort of hourly, I would imagine, with your Director General and those who are involved in this. What would you suggest to viewers, to parents who are watching this right now, as far as precautions to make sure that their children don't actually contract this virus?
Yeah, look, I'm speaking regularly, obviously, to the head of our department, but also to Brad Hazzard as the Health Minister and his agency as well. We're in lockstep with health on this in terms of the advice. And look, I think at the moment for parents is, you know, there's no need to panic. We need to take a precautionary measure when it comes to this issue and anything we can do. But follow the basic health measures. You know, if your child is unwell, any sort of flu-like or cold symptoms, keep them at home, seek medical advice if you're not sure, and just that basic hygiene, you know, making sure your kids are washing their hands, that they're looking after themselves, they're coughing into their elbow, all the normal things we do during flu season. It's particularly important now. You know, we need to take this seriously. We don't want people to be too alarmed, but we also want to reassure parents that we've got plans in place should we need to go down the path of school closures, which we've had to do in these 2 cases in Sydney.
Now, Sarah, I know higher education comes under the federal bailiwick, so that's not your particular area, but we've seen a lot of universities affected by this. It sort of raised the spectre of why they are so reliant, particularly on the Chinese. But how are they coping with this particular crisis, and what are they doing to ensure that it doesn't spread?
Well, again, you know, I think the university sector, as you say, has been hit quite hardly quite in a tough way, I should say, by what is going on. And you're right, there are a lot of international students, and I think for some of the universities there are concerns around what that will mean for their student intake. But look, this is an evolving health issue. It's not something that we can predict, and I think certainly the message to the universities is to listen to the health system, to take the advice, look at what you can do to reduce that risk for your students. I mean, we're all in this together. We've got to make sure we've got the right public health message and the right support. But for me particularly, it's that focus on schools. But I think a broader point to the community is take it seriously but not be too alarmed, and we've got to get that balance right.
All right, viewers, download that app. That can provide you with plenty of information on exactly what's going on. Minister Sarah Mitchell, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks, Peter.